Blast Attak, a character fans wanted and was a little controversial in the end. Well, not really. Let's explain. Well, I guess we should start in the middle. Blast Attak is a character that never appeared in 2000X, although he would have looked cool rendered that way. He pretty much was a toy you grew up with if you had the latter sort of third of the vintage line, since, well, this was a character that came out right in the middle. And that's important because in the middle of a toy line, what's successful as the vintage He-Man line is when you get the most tooling, and it's when you get the most variety, which is why you add all those snake men and giant robots in the middle. I'll probably do a whole other video about the bell curve aspect of tooling, but essentially at the very beginning you have a little bit. In the middle, when it's selling really great, you have a lot, and then towards the end it peters out. And when we were looking at the introduction of Blast Attak, that was when the line was selling in the billions, so development could go deep. There was no holding back. You didn't need to think about shared parts. You could design a character whatever your imagination could come up with because the tooling was available. In fact, Blast Attak coming out pretty much right in the middle of the vintage line had patents taken out because of the innovative snap-together feature of the body. The whole idea was he would blow himself apart so kids could, pull apart a robot. Two things kids love, pulling things apart and robots. He flies apart. It's as simple as that. Or, if you're in another country, it's Dobler. All right. So as I said, he came out right in the middle of the line, or at least was developed in the middle of the line, although he didn't ship till sort of the end, third, because toys always get developed about a year to 2 years before they're on shelf. So while he was both introduced as a Snake Man and as a member of Skeletor's crew, he tends to be most often thought of as a Snake Man. I think that's because that was what he was in the mini comics that he came with. And putting him into the Classics line was just basically about updating it as far as size and articulation. We, of course, would have loved to have done the pull-apart feature, but like most classics figures, we could only do the action feature if it didn't interrupt the tooling. This would have required a whole new torso that could pull apart. So since his torso was the same underneath, just covered with a chest armor to replicate the gears and whatnot of the vintage figure. We always got a lot of crap over this, but if you look at other lines, Funko Pops don't have the features. Not every toy line can have action features. So yeah, Classics wasn't about the action features, which is why he doesn't actually pull apart. But like I said, it combined two things kids love, robots and pulling things apart. So you've got a pretty big winner here with a patented action feature. While he didn't show up in the vintage animation, he did make it into the Netflix show, the more adult Revolution show. So, which honestly, to me, that was the coolest part, was seeing so many characters rendered for the first time. And he really is a character that if you were, at the sort of second half's left, he was a huge figure for you. But there was some sort of controversy. People were worried we wouldn't be able to release him because they were saying, well, he's kind of like a suicide bomber. Why would you make an action figure out of a suicide bomber? No, I don't think these are real. I think these are clearly fan customs. Yeah, no, Blast Attak is not a suicide bomber. He is a robot. And while he blows himself up, he's not. We changed it in the bio, making it about nanites that can reconfigure, and it's not supposed to be about blowing up other people. I don't know. I guess you could see it that way, but honestly, there was never an issue about releasing him because of this. However you want to see him, he's a robot. He blows up. He builds himself together again. It's called play, and play is what it's all about.